We're hanging laundry on the line and doing one really embarrassing thing in the middle of this September Plan With Me setup. I'm Debora Exum. Thanks for joining me. So we're going to get started with our calendar setup page, and this time I started out doing only vintage laundry things, but as you'll see, it kind of just becomes everything laundry without paying too much attention to the time period. This is going to be a washboard. And if you're not familiar with what a washboard is, before we get too far along, I wanted to show you a picture of one. Here it is, laying in that tub, ready to have some laundry scrubbed on it. I really enjoyed setting up this month's spread, and I think I probably say that every month. I have the best time thinking up the themes and coming up with the paintings and the drawings and the lettering, all that fun stuff. But one thing I've noticed is that I really haven't been using my journal as much as I used to. So I don't know if that's because of the times or what. Have you done that? I'll set them up every month, and I will tell you there has been a month or two that I haven't touched it at all. I've really enjoyed the pictures. I enjoy looking at it, but as far as writing something in it goes, I haven't been doing so much of that. So tell me in the comments, are you using your journal? Whether you illustrate it or if it's just really simple. I'd love to hear if you're using your journal and how you're using your journal. I thought about leaving my washboard standing on its own, but I decided it needed to be in a nice scene. So we're going to put some sky and clouds in, and then we're going to set it up in the middle of a nice pretty meadow. I love daisies, so I decided to set some daisies around the washboard just to give it a little bit of fun. And you probably think I'm crazy painting those daisies that dark gray, but my intention was for them to end up being the shadows. I'm going to come back with my white gel pen and try to whiten that up a little bit here in just a sec. Also trying to up my game a little bit on my cameras. I've usually recorded things just from one angle. I'm actually on this one, I'm sitting there holding my phone recording this, which makes it a little bit awkward for the drawing, but not too bad for a concept piece, I guess. So I'm thinking about getting a different kind of tripod so I can get some more of those better close-up shots. Now we're going to move over to our important dates page, and it wouldn't be right to leave those daisies over there, so we picked some and put them in a vase. And again, we're going to use the same technique of putting the gray in the background, and then we're going to add a vintage iron. I am so thankful for modern irons. As much as I burned myself cooking in the kitchen, if I had to use one of these, there's just no telling what I would look like, and there'd probably be holes in all of my clothes. For my little header there, I was kind of going for some vintage linens. A lot of times they'd have a piece of linen with a crocheted or embroidered trim around it, so that's what I was going for with this. And there we have it, our calendar page and our important dates. I was really happy with the way this turned out. So now we're going to move on to our trackers with lots of laundry on the line to track things this month. So I've kind of fallen into a pattern with my trackers. I like to track my creativity, just to keep a check on myself. Sometimes I get busy and I don't draw or paint or do any lettering, and I don't like it. I can tell I get in a grumpy mood when I don't do it, so I can track it and notice when a few days go by, and then I have to stop and get back to it. So creativity. And I just drew all sorts of fun clothes on there, and I went in with a dark gray Tombow marker for my line, and then this copper pen. I've kind of used it a little bit throughout. I really like the color of it. I used it back on the washboard to make little rust dots, and then I also used it as the trim around that linen. Oh, and for our gratitude tracker, we're going to put sheets up, so big rectangles to write thoughts of gratitude and things to be thankful for. So I'm glad I thought to do that. So we track our exercise to make sure we're getting exercise every day, and then our water intake. I tend to get a little slack with that, and one thing I noticed looking on it now is my clothes start really tiny on the left side and they get a little bigger as you go across the page. Different sizes of people in the family, I suppose. And then we're going to paint them. I tried to stick with the same color theme that I had on my previous page, and I really like the way it turned out. I should have stopped a little sooner. You'll see I've got the yellow, the brown, the gray, blue, green, and I should have left some of them empty. I kind of like the way they look with a few not painted at all, but instead I had to fill in all of them, and I added pink. So I don't hate it, but I think I would have been happier if I'd left that pink off of there. And once I finished, I decided to bling up a few of the things, put dots and stripes on them just to add a little bit of interest. After I'd done a little bit, I decided that was something that I could easily take too far, so I stopped while I was ahead there. And there you go. There's all of our trackers for this time. Creativity, exercise, water intake, and gratitude. And now for our first weekly spread, it's gonna be about baskets, laundry baskets, both modern and antique. We've got some wicker looking ones. We've got a laundry bag. We've got one that's divided into lights and darks. I'm going to see how this goes. I'm not sure I left myself enough space for each day, but I thought it was kind of a fun concept, and we'll try it, and we'll see how it turns out. I intentionally didn't do a lot of line drawing in the centers of those. I wanted to leave space to write things for each day. So there you go. There's my weekly spread. Oh yeah, here's the embarrassing part. I decided that it was too blank on the right. I should put the month, and so here I go. And again, using my handheld camera action there for a close-up, and I am so proud of myself for doing this. And I get all the way through it, and I'm even, back off of it and show the whole page. And it really wasn't until I flipped back through that I realized I had written the word August. And we're doing September, so I wish I could have reversed it. But instead, I just put a piece of paper over it. I actually put a little bit of a wash on it to keep it from being too white. And now, we'll do it the way we should have. But lesson learned. Everybody makes mistakes. And I'm making these videos several weeks ahead, so it was still August, which is why August was on my brain, and that's how that happened. But we fixed it, and we can go on down the road. And I used a few new supplies. This is a Furinosuke pen, I think, and I will put that in the description with a link to one I really love. It's great for hand lettering. So here's all of our spreads. We have our calendar page, our important dates. I think that turned out great. I like the colors I chose. I think my washboard's really kind of fun. And then we're going to do some laundry on the line for our trackers. And of course, you have to have a weekly spread. So we'll see how that goes with the laundry baskets. And I already thought about doing some more sheets online for another weekly spread the week after. So thanks so much for joining me today. I had fun making this September spread with you. Let me know what your theme is in your journal for this month. And I hope to see you in the next video.